Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy P, also known as Captain P67. If you're new to my channel, I cover Diablo as well as obviously a lot of other stuff. I am a variety content creator, so I do cover a game I'm playing at the moment, which is Diablo. So I've been covering all the Necro, the unique stuff like that. I've been covering a lot of the patch notes and nerfs and other stuff and my thoughts and feelings on it, as well as obviously the role which I'm playing now. Now the patch notes just came out today, which is patch 111, official notes. They're not going to be implemented till the 8th, it's the 2nd today. But yeah, what I'm going to be doing is, we're going to go over all the patch notes itself. And then what I'll do for you is, each class as I go through it, I'll do a full breakdown of the patch notes in one video. But then if you want to maybe just go to your character and have a breakdown of that, I'll do separate videos for each class as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So again, this is patch 111 build, all platforms, goes live on August the 8th. August the 8th. I was saying 8th, 2023. Hello Wondra, welcome to patch 111. We've made quite a few basic balance adjustments to classes. Our goals with this patch are as follows. We want to improve the effectiveness of the sorcerers and barbarians while addressing the following for each class. Sorcerer, improve late game survivability, mostly through Paragon board improvements. Adjust some class mechanics to move away from the Kiss Curse effect. This is where the player gains power but loses somewhere else. Power somewhere else. I haven't played the Sorcerer as of yet. I've obviously 100 level on the Necro, main that, mastered that. I'm on the roll currently about level 60. So you guys might have more insight on how it's all going to affect you guys' Sorcerer. But yeah, let me know in the comments and let me know how you guys feel about the Sorcerer changes in general from your point of view. So yeah, adjust some class mechanics to move away from the Kiss Curse effects. This is where the player gains some power but loses power somewhere else. So yeah, if you're getting something taken away, it's not having the best, or it's not the best having like a lackluster buff basically. So Barbarian, speed up the flow of combat in the early game by increasing fury generation on basic skills. Again, you're going to know more as a Barbarian player than myself, but I heard so many memes about the Barbarian getting nerfed to the ground all the time, constantly, so it's a bit of a joke. So I guess any buffs for you folks, I guess you'll be happy with something at least. So yeah, speed up the flow of combat in the early game by increasing fury generation on basic skills. Add late game excitement by increasing the power up of unique items. Now I think that should be just buffed across the board. Everyone's unique should be made a lot more better, more adept, have something better or just flowing better in general, you know what I mean? I don't think that's something they can definitely look into from everyone's point of view, every class. Strengthen builds that aren't reaching a higher power level. Again, they nerf so much, so I should definitely be buffing a lot of stuff to kind of fix up for all classes to make every build viable. It doesn't have to be meta, but just viable at least, and then high end game. If you're at end game, you should be for minutes of damage, but of course. Diversify the use cases for legendary items, other effects that are overly situational. So yeah, I'm going to go over the full patch notes first, then I'll go through all the classes one by one after, and then that gives you a better breakdown. So if you just wanted to go to your direct class on this video, you can just skip to your class and then skip the main patch notes. But this way I'll cover all the patch notes, cover all the classes, and then I'll do separate videos for each class as well. So gameplay updates, monster density. We are increasing monster density in Nightmare Dungeons and in Helltide. Bosses above level 60 will have more health. Examples, bosses at level 60 and below remain unchanged, so normal fights at level 60. Bosses at level 80 have 50% increased health. Bit more viable, bit more challenging. Bosses at level 100 have 100% increased health. Again, kind of makes sense because it stacks a little bit harder, I guess. And bosses at level 120 have 120% increased health. Bosses at level 150 and above have 150% increased health. So over 150, looking at 150% increased health. Bosses and events, we're making adjustments to health value of high level boss monsters. So level 35 and higher boss monsters will now have a 100% chance to drop a legendary item, which again definitely should be included a lot, especially when you're looking for those aspects. It's not always about finding the legendary, it's just the aspect sometimes. It's a bit ridiculous, so any chance you can get legendary is way better. So definitely I think that should be just standard anyway. Treasure goblins should be standard, which they're covering now, and butcher is standard as well. So treasure goblins now have an increased legendary item drop chance from level 6 to 14 and guarantee a legendary item drop starting at level 15. I got tongue twisted then almost, I stopped. But yeah, treasure goblins have now an increased legendary item drop chance from level 6 to 14, guarantee a legendary item drop starting at level 15. So that's definitely a lot better what we just talked about, obviously. So that'll already help a lot of you out. And again, same with the Butcher as well if that comes up. Legion events are now more rewarding and guarantee a legendary item drop starting at level 35. So again, Goblins, Legion events, high boss monsters, great. More loot, more aspects, and helps you get through the game quicker as well. Not having to farm the same thing over and over and over again. So we have General tab as well. So general notes, we have made multiple improvements on how damage and other effects interact with other active barriers. Bonus damage or bonus effects that are applied on hits when dealing damage will now apply the same effect through barriers. The exploit paragraph glyph will now apply vulnerable to enemies that have an active barrier. Okay, interesting. So even if they have a barrier, you're going to still be effective. That's pretty interesting. Cheat death effects will now work properly when the player has an active barrier. So again, when you have the active barrier, I think survivability and other stuff should make sense to be invincible for a certain amount of time. This also affects PvP play. Varshan will now break through any bomb wall segments he dashes through. The cost for refunding skill and paragon points has been reduced. The reduction starts at lower levels and hits a maximum of 40% at level 100. My 2 cents on this, I still think it's a bit of a joke. If they want you to grow a game and have some fun with the builds and stuff like that, why should you be penalised for experimenting? Again, you're going through your paragon points. The reason I say this, I've had to tweak my Necromancer twice. I think it's like 7 million. From the start, all 5 boards, retweak all those, I think it's 7 million each. So again, that's a lot. For what? Like, I only wanted to change a few things, because you can't change just one board at a time. You have to delete one individual node. It's lengthy to do. And 2, again, it's just, there shouldn't be any cost. It just doesn't add up. Especially since you paid for them. Like, you shouldn't, I can maybe understand a little bit you're paying from it, but even then you're parrying your points up, that shouldn't be anything to do with gold. But yeah, you're kind of doing one thing one way, and then just it's not adding up. So a reduction, but if not, just remove it. I don't think it's even viable. It just doesn't add up. We've increased the. Actually, I'll cover the points just in case everyone wants to go through the notes very meticulously or just wants to listen to it like a podcast. So starts at lower levels, hits a maximum of 40% at level 100. So example, level 50 you get 12% reduction. At level 60 you get 18% reduction. At level 70 you get 24% reduction. Level 80 you get a 30% reduction. We've increased the stat limit for elixirs from 20 to 99. So big increase there, but again, should add more tabs and other tabs for everything else, so it doesn't like obviously just take over your sigils. Because that's another thing. You might have a lot of elixirs, but then that's going into your sigils, and you want to stack one of it to help farm, but it's kind of hindering you as well. So maybe even another tab for that separately. An additional stash tab can now be purchased at the stash with gold. Again, a bit of a joke, man. Should have been added for free. I think that's 400k or whatever it is on top for no reason. And stash should have just definitely been increased. Even like standard 10 at the start of the game, maybe. I don't understand why they haven't added more from the start. And yeah, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that as well. We increased the stack. Oh, sorry. We have restored the cast time for leave dungeons back to 3 seconds. So you all probably know about the debacle about the leaving dungeons taking longer for no reason. They try to say because of hardcore players, but didn't add up, because if you're playing hardcore, just implement that for hardcore. If you're playing normal mode, then just have one way. Maybe you could code it so you got variables to it. Doesn't add up. But they put it back anyway, so that's a good start at least. Following nightmare dungeons have been removed. So resource burn, everyone thought that was pointless, didn't make any sense. Backstabbers have been removed as well. And empowered elites, cold enchanted. So you shouldn't be able to get CC'd and frozen over and over, which was a joke to go against, as we all know. Malignant Hearts, Caged Heart of Spell Breaking, changed to upon taking elemental damage you gain 10 to 20% damage reduction for 5 seconds. So that's pretty cool. Generic unique items. Now everyone writes off the Temerity. I've actually been using Temerity a lot in my Necro. I really love it and I'm enjoying it. It's dope. But what they've changed is now, so Temerity all stats affix replaced with max life. Barrier is now based on maximum life. So I think it was based off your base life, I think, so prior to this patch. And that's why it wasn't respected or rated that much. And if you did put red gems in for your more HP, I think that's the whole point. It wasn't stacking correctly. So this, I believe it will stack correctly. So if you know anything different to what I'm saying, obviously just post in the comments below or let me know. I'm still learning as we go as well, but that's my thoughts on it from my point of view. Now properly accounted by conditions, checking for the player having the barrier. So again, I've had that many times. I've run into dungeons where I've got one-shotted, but I've got a full barrier. Like, not only is my HP like something like 14k, but I got a barrier that, say temerity is supposed to give me 76%, but it thinks it's base life, not max life, obviously. Still, I've got 14k, like, you know, that's my normal maximum life, really. So, yeah, that's my life after. But imagine having that 14k plus a barrier, regardless of what the value of the barrier is, we're having that and still getting one shot. That, you know, doesn't add up. It's not really fun. It's not really something that makes a point. You're better off just not having temerity then. So, yeah, sounds like a good thing. Bug fixes, accessibility. The screen reader support for reading class icons has been added. Fixed an issue where the screen reader wouldn't read out capitalized, accented letters or special characters. Cooperative play. Fixed an issue where progression in the final straw quest could be blocked during co-op play. Fixed an issue where the only player could activate points of interest during co-op play. Fixed an issue where using a town portal while attempting to enter a dungeon would cause both players to get stuck during a local co-op play. Fixed an issue where follow NPCs could not function properly in scenarios. Where players were mounted during local co-op play. Fixed an issue where the quest progress tracker of the other players wouldn't display in certain situations during local co-op play. Fixed an issue where the seasonal info would not properly display when player 2 created a new character during local co-op play. Fixed an issue where a player engaged in conversation with an NPC would see a black screen if another player in their party teleported away. Dungeons. So fixed an issue where progression in the seaside desert dungeon could be blocked when the butcher or a treasure goblin spawned behind the barrier. Fixed an issue where the determination malignant power wouldn't function against a resource burn affix for nightmare dungeons. Fixed an issue where the resource burn affix for nightmare dungeons was applying from close enemies and not just distant enemies. That was an absolute joke. Fixed an issue where the boss in the Den of the Blighted could be damaged through the fog wall. Critters, non-competitive creatures in Nightmare Dungeons with the Death Pulse affix will no longer explode on death. This explosion was never dealing damage. Regardless, with all the stuff going on, you couldn't always tell what was going on. You still got one-shotted by so many random things. So that just needs to be stopped altogether, man. If you get hit by something mega damage, maybe just give you like 9 to 10 HP and give you that little 0.5 of a second or a second just to use a potion. You know, just something so it's more viable. It just makes a bit of sense. One shot, it just doesn't make any sense in a game. Not for no reason, anyway. Yeah, so we covered that. Fixed an issue where players could leave the party after dying in a nightmare dungeon, re-enter their party, then re-enter the dungeon and not have their revives count towards the dungeon's revive cap. Understandable if that's like a bug or a glitch. You know, that stuff should be fixed for sure. Fixed an issue where Animus carriers killed before the Animus objective was triggered would not drop Animus, blocking dungeon progression. Again, bit of a joke. You've done all the hard work. You get to one part where it's not working correctly, kind of ruins the fun for you. Fixed an issue where the reset dungeon button often malfunctioned. Again, bit of a joke again. Fixed an issue where Keeper, Zorlim sometimes will not drop Garen's key in the Garen Hole Nightmare dungeon. There's another one, I think it's called Cause Dragon. Stronghold, I believe. I've been doing that for 3 days. On my Eternal server, I believe it worked perfectly fine. But I swear on this seasonal one, you get to the last part 90% complete, and it doesn't. There's a doorway, and you delete this like blood wall. And on the first playthrough, I did it, but the boss wouldn't do anything. So I was literally at the right part, right point, nothing happened. Next day, that wall wouldn't disappear, it just got blocked. And then again, third day, it happened again. So hopefully they fixed that as well. That's not been mentioned. If you guys have seen that issue or had that issue, let me know. Some of my viewers had the same issue and some of their friends have as well. I can cover the gameplay. I'll cover the generic notes and I'll go over the specific notes. So, gameplay-wise, Barbarian fixed an issue where charge didn't carry all the enemies hit along the Barbarian. Fixed an issue where lunging strike could cause the player character to get stuck under the ground. Fixed an issue where the bonus critical strike chance granted by focus, rage, malignant power could be consumed by non-combat skills. Fixed an issue where the aspect of berserk ripping wouldn't cause targets to bleed when berserking. Again, very bad, very bad. That's for the Barbarian. For the Druid, the tooltip for the Moonrage Malignant Power now also communicates the power's additional lucky hit chance of spawning a wolf when damaging a boss. This tooltip now properly communicates that it grants +3 ranks to wolves. Fixed an issue where Call of the Wild and aspect of the Stampede were not properly affecting the passive portions of companion skills and the active portions of the wolves, or portion of wolves. So again, you guys might know more about that since they might be your main characters, so let me know how that goes for you folks with Druid and Barbarian. I do main Necro, so I'll go for these. Fixed an issue that caused more blood orbs than intended to be active at the same time. Blood orbs now function like crackling energy that they cap at 30. They weren't going to fix that. The only reason they fixed that is because obviously it's not an exploit or a glitch. Blood Artisan's Cuirass, if you know about it, the chest piece, you could collect 5 orbs, you could one-shot Uber Lilith. It's not like a simple one-shot, you go in and it's that easy. You have to prep, like most of the guys that ran it, I think one of the first videos on YouTube took them like over an hour. So it took over an hour of prep, and you just used Blood Wave, put loads of blood orbs around the map, and then one-shot Uber Lilith, then one-shot her again, basically. You can watch that video if you want to check that out. It's obviously going to be patched, next week, but that's the only reason I put it in. No one asked, no one was concerned about that before. It wasn't an issue, and the cool thing about it was you could make some cool builds on the Necro for it. So that's the only reason. But again, like I said, they don't have to do all this extra stuff and nerfing so much stuff to a certainty. Why not just have it deactivate in a dungeon? You fight Uber Lilith, and you could just put a cap on that, just that fight. The rest you could just keep the same. So that's Necro. A lot of you Necros know what I'm talking about with that one as well. Fixed an issue where guaranteed overpower attacks from the Rathma's Vigor key passive were not benefiting from the Paragon Legendary Node Bloodbath. So yeah, some issues with that not working. Bit of a shame, because again, there are some cool blood builds out there. And I want to make some like myself, but like I said, I can't keep going through the Paragon board, putting points up, losing 7 million or whatever to tweak it to perfection over and over. It just doesn't. It's not worthy. It's not time worthy. It's just too much, man. Especially with the lackluster amount of gold you get and obviously other stuff you get as well. Especially the amount of time you have to invest in the game, regardless. Fixed an issue where the automatic corpse explosion cast from the sacrilegious malignant power could ignore the damage reducing effect from the power when using unenhanced corpse explosion. Fixed an issue where the untimely death aspect only increased overpowered damage on the blood lance that was cast, not other lance targets, which is a bit whack. Fixed an issue where the decrepit aura malignant power was equipped twice. The power with the lowest number of near enemies required to activate was not the one that would trigger. So I guess people put on double. I don't know how that's stacking for you guys, how that's working in general, but yeah, they kind of made it so it would only activate one, I believe. So the lowest number of near enemies required to activate was the one that would trigger. Oh, that was not the one that would trigger. Alright, so the one that would not trigger. So you make sure you basically got your hearts in the right place if you want it to work. Fix an issue where the shields held by Necromancer would cover their face in loading screens. Fix an issue where the Necromancer's imperfectly balanced passive could only have 1 point allocated. Now that is a joke. That should have been fixed time ago. I've been fighting Uber Lilith without it. Seems a bit more tricky, not the extra 2 points. So as of Wednesday, I'll get that redone, refought. I've been fighting Uber Lilith quite a lot though, but I got it into a team, and I think it's just the 1 or 2 parts where you got to get enough DPS, and I think having that taken does kind of obviously affect your DPS, which is a bit of an issue as well. Fixed an issue where the decrepit aura malignant power wouldn't trigger when mounted. So again, something that's not been working should be fixed now, so that should be great. Rogue fixed an issue where the poison trap could be infinitely cast without spending energy by using the concealment skill near zone transition areas. Okay. Fixed an issue where the Shadow Clone's taunt affecting the tricky malignant power could taunt other players in PvP, and the taunt was not breakable by unstoppable effects. Okay, again. Sorcerer fixed an issue where the Elemental Dominance passive didn't function correctly when using core mastery skills that dealt damage over time. Example, a meteor cast at above 50 mana that would take you under 50 mana would not get the full damage bonus. So hopefully all these bugs and fixes for the Sorcerer make it viable. One of my viewers is literally playing the campaign. He had to stop it. He didn't even finish the campaign yet because it's a bit of a joke with his Sorcerer at the moment. And of course, if you're new to the game, you shouldn't be put into a game where you can't even like do the most basic stuff without having a bit of fun. You know what I mean? So I do understand where the Sorcerers are coming from. So fixed an issue with the Omni Power, Malignant Power wouldn't properly consume additional mana, which could not trigger interactions with additional resource consumption. Example, the damage reduction from Mana Shield passive. Fixed the issue where Omni Power, Malignant Power was inconsistently launching the appropriate number of projectiles. In addition, the tooltip has been updated to better describe the power. Fixed an issue where the effects from the Dark Dance Malignant Power would realign the element's passive. Fixed an issue where the random location teleport effect from the Oculus could cause players to get stuck in the environment. So I think we got just not too much more to go on the generic notes. Yeah, it's not that much to go. Right, so almost done on that, folks. I know there's quite a lot to go through, but it's a big patch that was required. So, general after all that is fixed an issue with the speed increase from the spur skill while mounted was slow on the controller, then the keyboard and mouse. I definitely found it tricky. I'm playing controller PC, and I did find that when even I watched certain videos, people's mounts were moving like kind of hella fast and they was doing their thing, whereas my controller mount wasn't doing that, and you kind of felt a bit buggy and glitchy somewhat. So, if there are any issues that can be fixed on that, that's great. Fixed an issue where invasion portals spawn during certain Helltide events, could be pushed off the screen with Fury effects. Yeah, that could be kind of annoying at certain parts. Fixed an issue where Paragon rare nodes will sometimes not provide bonuses with stat boosting gear. Now that's a joke again. If you want people to make builds and be creative in a game, you got to make sure your basic stuff's working. So yeah, I'm not sure who noticed that or spotted that in general, but that is bad. Especially with the Paragon board. That's the whole hype. You get your character, your Paragon board. Mix them together and make some cool stuff. So fixed an issue where continuously enchanting an item could result in having the same stat show repeatedly in subsequent rerolls. Again, I think that's an absolute joke. Again, like especially the cost, like rolling. The way it jumps from like I don't know 10k to 50k, 100k, then it goes to the millions. Like I don't understand the logic of the jump of the cost. I could understand like I could even understand like say 5k increments, because then that would be like in a logical sense you could be like oh yeah, I've actually spent like $1 million, you know what I mean? So you did like 5k one roll, then it'll be 10k, 15. Well, I don't understand the jump from like 20k, 400k, and 800k. It's like $1 million, like such a crazy jump, and I ain't had no explanation. I've never played any of the Diablo, so I don't know how they work from that, but I've never heard that. So again, I think that's a joke, man. I think that should definitely be fixed in general, and especially getting the same stats is weak, man. Okay, so yeah, fixed an issue where post-death damage effects ignored the damage reduction from the stats of close or distant enemies. Again, I've seen that before. You popped off, you've done what you need to do, and then all of a sudden, an enemy that's still exploding on the floor in fire, you just randomly die, or you get hit by a random proc and you just die one shot. It's very silly. If they die, maybe just because you completed it, maybe just give some sort of invincibility or something. Just anything in general. Something would make some kind of common sense in that regard. Fixed an issue where mounting your steed while moving would behave erratically while playing on console. Again, I've had that controller PC, same issue, so hopefully that's a generic fix and that's good. What's up, Benji? Thanks for alerted. Monsters fixed an issue where elite enemies with teleporter affix could teleport from off screen and deal excessive damage. Yeah, definitely with that, and not only that, is when you fight in certain enemies, like this one specifically, you get them low, they teleport away off the screen. You then either have to chase them, or they're so far off the screen, but then all of a sudden they're attacking you when your cooldowns are there. It's very silly, man. Very silly. Yeah, these are the patch notes. So I'm going to go through the generic patch notes, which I've got through most of them now, I think 75%. Then I'm going to go through each class as well. But we've got a lot to cover when we're going through it. You might want to look for them, Benji, in case you want to purchase the game still. I know you're kind of hype after hearing all these great stories about Diablo, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so fix an issue where the Tusk Charger enemies could still damage the player after dying. Yeah, again, that same thing, you get one-shotted by those, or you get hit and then you're walking off and you randomly hit, or they hit you, go off the map, you get hit with Shadow. It's just so many different things, so many variables. It's a joke, man. It's a joke. Fix an issue where the corpse spawn enemy wouldn't attack the player. Okay. This Majube one. Fixed an issue where Majube monster was more difficult to beat. I remember first playing through it, my first play through Necro, and I found it challenging, but I did tweak my build a little bit, and then I beat it, you know what I mean? But I can definitely see how, in some ways, it is a bit of a spam, heal, spam, heal, and then runs away. Same sort of cycle. It does get kind of annoying and kind of understand it, so that's good. That's going off my own experience as well. Quests. Fix an issue where progression will be blocked during the reject. The mother quest if the player left the game and came back. Fixed an issue where quest objectives would be missed while mounted during the Desperate Remedies quest. Fixed an issue where the Fury Against Fate quest could have its progression blocked. Fixed an issue where the quest tracker pin would not be visible outside the zone where the Ruins of Fate quest was located. I find that in general as well, if you're not specifically like putting it does disappear sometimes. I don't know if that happens to everyone, it's just myself, but it depends, not always the most accurate, and it's a bit weird as well, to be honest. So yeah, if they can fix that and make that better, that'd be great. Fixed an issue where the Gore Salt barricade could become indestructible after exiting and returning the cellar during the Fury against Fate quest. Fixed an issue where players could repeatedly fight Varshan during the final seasonal quest by resetting the dungeon where he spawns. And next one is the Season of the Malignant. Fixed an issue where the Prudent Heart Malignant power would not trigger while mounted. Fixed an issue where the Dark Dance Malignant power could behave as if the players were damaging themselves, which could apply other effects that occur when the player deals damage. Fixed an issue where the Invoker Varshan recipe could be lost. For any player that lost a recipe, it can be acquired from any Malignant kill after the seasonal questline has been completed. Fixed an issue where the Barber Malignant power would absorb damage from all other players and not just the player with it equipped. Now, a lot of people have been asking about this and wanting changes to it. So, there you go, folks. The Barber for the Malignant Hearts, it will just cover your own damage, it won't cover everyone else's. So, hopefully that'll be fixed. And I haven't got around to using it myself. I'm still having a blast with Rogue, so I'm just having fun with the main game. I'm not too worried about the Hearts per se at the moment, because I knew a lot of things would come and happen and change since we've got loads of stuff going on with Diablo. But again, if you're having any fun with it, or you think that's a good idea or bad idea, let me know. And again, if you guys got any thoughts about any future Malignant Hearts they may add or something that would be cool, let me know as well. I'd be interested to hear that from the community. So fix an issue where the earn of bargaining season blessing was increasing the hands of cost of items. Fix an issue where the Dark Dance Malignant Heart could kill the player. It will no longer consume life if the player doesn't have enough life to pay. Okay, so again, I haven't got around to those and the bargaining one, but I heard about there's a bargaining kind of not a glitch, but the fact there's increasing the enchant cost was ridiculous. Again, going back to what I said earlier about enchanting costs, I think they're just very, very high, and I don't think they're viable, man. It doesn't add up to me logically as a player. Shop and Battle Pass. Fix an issue where Rising emotes visual effects would appear, playing on low graphical settings. Fixed an issue where the dagger tap emote for Rogue from the Battle Pass would lock player movement for its duration. Fixed an issue where the female necromancer animation for the cage puppetry emote had visual errors in the preview. Fixed an issue where the Phantasm Walker cosmetic set had multiple visual errors such as clipping. Okay, we're down to UI and the miscellaneous, and that is all the patch notes, folks. And then I'll go through with you, I will go through each individual class so we can cover that as well. I'm trying to make it as quick as possible and then add some 2 cents in again, so you can have a listen to it like a podcast or watch it back. I think the text might be a little bit small, but that's why I'm reading literally everything word for word, so you're not missing out on anything as we go through. But in future, if you want me to zoom in so you're going to kind of read it yourselves in the future, I can do that. But again, you could just zoom in yourself, couldn't you, on your computer or your PC or your phone, whatever you're using. There again, just let me know if you want that covered. Fix an issue where the text was missing. This is for the UI, by the way. Fix an issue where the text was missing for speaking to Krez during the Tangled Memories quest. Fixed an issue where the subtitles during the Light Extinguished quest were out of sync with the voice dialogue. Fixed an issue where the tooltip would show the wrong name for the Wrathful Malignant Hearts when equipping 2 rings with the heart socketed into it, or in it, socketed in it. I'm trying to read it very accurate word for word. So again, you guys, if I don't understand it, maybe it makes more sense to you. And again, if I read it correctly, at least we won't have any errors from our end as well. So I'll read that back just in case. Fixed an issue where the tooltip would show the wrong name for the Wrathful Malignant Hearts when equipping 2 rings with the heart socketed in it. Fixed multiple issues with text description inconsistency in shop bundles. Fixed an issue where the Scroll of Amnesia tooltip referenced stat points instead of paragon points. Fixed an issue where the tooltips for social and miscellaneous tabs in the action wheel were mismatched. Fixed an issue where the tooltip for Battle Pass emotes would erroneously describe the emotes as shop emotes instead of the seasonal emotes. Fixed an issue where the Cauldron age is displayed as supporting all classes, even though not all classes can use shields. Fixed an issue where the timer for Whispers could display incorrectly. Fixed an issue where the Stele of Volkova and Hero Overwhelm headstones were missing names in the wardrobe. Fixed multiple localization issues. Fixed an issue where the button highlights for controller would disappear after dismissing the buy more platinum prompt while navigating the battle pass menu. Again, me as a controller player on PC, I've still found a few bugs and issues when I go over stuff. Sometimes the mouse kicks in. It's made me end up buying stuff from the vendor store, but you know, for no reason as well. I've literally had the controller ready to purchase or sell items. It's clicked over there and clicked and I've bought it for like 1 million or 600,000 again. Bit of a joke, man. I don't know what the issue is with that, but yeah, controller on PC just turn your mouse upside down. As a streamer, it's a bit more difficult because I have to navigate through 2 monitors, read through the chat, bring up pages and stuff. But yeah, if you're doing that just as a gamer, then you should be fine. But yeah, just turn your mouse upside down. Maybe that'll help you if you are having that issue. Okay, so fixed an issue where the hero list could not be reordered. Fixed an issue where the player's display death mark on the minimap was inaccurate compared to where their corpses are. I definitely think that's a big thing when you're trying to res your teammates or go on the map or try and like for a nightmare dungeon. If you got like limited lives left, you don't want to be going to a pack of elites or a pack of groups where you potentially got your last life, but you want to res your teammates. So that way you can still save your teammates, res them, come back. So it makes more sense to be more accurate. Which I don't understand from a common sense point of view why it wasn't accurate in the first place. I don't understand that unless that's a Diablo thing in the past Diablos, but I don't understand. There's still no excuse. It just shouldn't be happening whatsoever. Fix an issue with the mount armor trophies. It wouldn't update even when selecting other mounts in the stable master vendor menu. I understand some like technical issues and bugs issues can happen. I understand that, but if they're fixing it, cool. Fix an issue with the controller button highlights could disappear in the stable master's menu again. I've had a lot of issues, control not showing up, mouse keyboard kicking in, so again that should be fixed for you players like me and console players hopefully. Fix an issue with the battle pass interface will not properly navigate to the appropriate tier after tier skipping. Fixed an issue where the die emote from the battle pass displayed its name incorrectly. So I don't know if you guys have any issues for that. I'm not buying the battle pass personally, I'm definitely not buying it 100%. I don't see the point right now. They need to fix a lot of stuff before they get a lot of support back, I think, from a lot of players, man. So, like I said, we'll keep an eye on this and we'll see. Miscellaneous. Fix an issue where the reins of Bloody Steed would reappear in the Stable Master's menu after it's already acquired. I think I may have got that one, personally, as well. Fix an issue where the opening multiple clan profile windows would cause a crash. Fix an issue where the certain Necromancer hairstyle would intersect the character's neck in cutscenes. I don't know about that one, but that could be funny. Fix an issue where the audio from Corman could be heard even if the player was far away from him during the Enter the Forest clearing quest, like whispering in your ear, ASMR. Over here, let's go. Fixed an issue where the weather effects and the map colour change to denote Helltide will persist after the Helltide ended, okay. Fixed an issue where, that's where the blood drain, the blood marks from the map maybe. I saw that glitch a few times. Fixed an issue where skipping the initial cutscene after creating a new character could cause a crash, again. Your game's supposed to be good, shouldn't be crashing for any silly reason. Fix an issue with the bloody liquid steel was not always rewarded after defeating Echo Lilith. Okay, so another glitch has been fixed, cool. Other various visual stability performance improvements for all platforms. Okay, make sure you got that correct so you're not confused. But yeah, various other visual stability and performance improvements for all platforms. There you go. Could have been a tongue twister, but we got it. Because we all Gucci, Felucci, Penatucci. But yeah, there you go, folks. Those are the overall patch notes for you. So if you did want to just cover your each class, just skip to the section you want to if you don't want to send me the patch notes. But again, if you want me to go through them at any point in the future, just let me know. I'll do the same thing, cover the patch notes, updates in general and what we cover. So I'm going to go top to bottom through the class. I'll be as quick as I can. And again, if you want to just watch your own video for these, I'll make separate videos for each class. We'll go top to bottom. Starts off with the Barbarian, ends with the Necromancer. So without further ado, let's get to it. So basically, just going on this quickly. Yeah, skills for the Barbarian. So these are the buffs apparently. But again, I don't know much about the Barbarian. So you Barbarian players can drop me some knowledge on the Barbarian and tell me how good these buffs are, if it's actually viable, if it makes such a big difference to cover the vulnerability nerfs and the nerfs we've got as well. And if it actually makes the Barbarian viable at least and fun at least. So skills, Bash Fury gained increase from 11 to 13. Flay, Fury gained increase from 10 to 13. Enhanced Frenzy, Fury gained increase from 2 to 3. Lunging Strike, Fury gained increase from 10 to 12. Double Swing, damage increase from 40 to 50%. Enhanced Rupture, damage increase from 45% to 70%. Okay, it looks like a decent buff. I think those are the types of buffs Barbarians should be getting from just even hearing all the jokes and the memes about it. Damage increase from 30 to 60% for enhanced charge in case you I didn't cover that. But yeah, so enhanced Rupture, damage increase 45 to 70. Enhanced charge, damage increase from 30 to 60. Mighty Charge, vulnerable duration increase from 2 to 4 seconds. Great. Violent Upheaval, if upheaval damage at least 2 enemies or a boss, you gain Berserking for 2 seconds, increase to 3 seconds if it damages at least 4 enemies. Come on, man, you could at least get the Barbarian 4 seconds And then the Berserking had 2, another 6 or something like that. That would have been great. Passives, aggressive resistance, damage reduction increase from 3 to 4%. Bruh. Come on, man. Give the Barbarian some love, man. Like, at least give him 5% or 6%, man. Make it exciting with these numbers, not just a little 1 or 2 increase. That's weak, man. Alright, bleed damage dealt based on critical damage bonus increase from 100 to 115%. Alright, now we're talking. Bleed damage when overpowering it increased from 11 to 7. Hold up. Bleed damage when overpowering increased from 11 to 70%. That's better. Alright, unconstrained Berserk damaging bonus increase from 25 to 35. Cool. Updated the tooltip to more clearly reflect the key passive value. Walking Arsenal bonus damage duration increased from 6 to 8 seconds. Okay, bit better. So yeah, could have been 9, but you know, we'll see. Keep pressing on Barbarians, man. Get some better buffs. Legendaries, aspect of the ancestral force, damage increase from 32 to 50% to 40 to 58%. Great. He says that twice, so I'm reading these notes exactly word for word. So if it sounds a bit confusing, blame the notes. Death Wish aspect, thorns increase from 0.5 to 0.75 to 0.65 to 0.85. Core skill cost to refund increased from 10 to 20 to 20 to 30. Additional functionality, cost refund also granted when hitting bosses. Aspect of ancestral charge, damage increase from 50 to 100% to 75 to 125. Aspect of burning rage, damage increase from 0.22 to 0.28 to 0.3 to 0.38. Aspect of Bulkatos, damage reduction while in earthquakes increased from 5 to 15% to 15 to 25%. Earthquake aspect, damage bonus in earthquakes increased from 5 to 15% to 15 to 25%. Uniques, Fills of Crimson, damage increase from 0.18 to 34 to 22 to 38. 22 to 38, so that's clear. Damage that enemies take standing in pools increase from 15 to 20%, should have been 25% realistically, but 20%. Rupture cooldown reduction affix replaced with bonus critical strike damage. Okay, so rupture cooldown reduction affix replaced with bonus critical strike damage. Okay, much better. Hellhammer, damage increase from 0.6 to 0.8. Oh, 0.6 to 0.8, yeah, to 0.85 to 1.1. Burning duration increased from 3 to 4 seconds. Damage to crowd control enemies affix replaced with bonus critical strike damage. Ramadalni's Magnus Opus. Physical damage affix replaced with vulnerable damage instead. Okay, so that's pretty cool. 100,000 steps. Attacks reduce. Evades cooldown affix replaced with bonus evade charges. Damage against stunned affix replaced with bonus movement speed. I'm reading these as a new player. I'm trying to understand these. So like, you know, if I do get these classes, I could understand where you guys are coming from and what's good, what's not bad. So I'm trying to absorb this too. I'm going to read that again though quickly. Damage against stunned affix replace with bonus movement speed. Okay, it makes sense now. Battle trance, basic skill damage affix replaced with cooldown reduction. Amazing. Bonus attack speed toward the skills increase from 10 to 20 to 35 to 45. Now that definitely is more of what we need for the Barbarian. So there you go, folks. That's the Barbarian covered for you. That's the full patch notes for 1.1.1. I'm going to be moving on to the next class, which is the Rogue. And then we'll cover what else is after that, and then after that. So this looks like there's not been too much change, and I think the obviously Barbarian source will have the most. But again, if you go through them, we'll see exactly what we've got. So back to the Rogue. Skills, fundamental invigorating strike, energy threshold increase from 50 to 75%, primary forceful arrow, every third cast pierces enemies, enhanced caltrops, damage bonus increase from 3 to 5%, poison trap, damage increase from 344% to 396%, supreme rain of arrows, rain of the arrows first wave knocks down enemies for 3 seconds, great. Passives, victimize, lucky hit chance increase from 35% to 45%. Rugged, damage reduction against damage over time effects increase from 6, 12, 18%, so 6, 12, 18% to 9, 18, 27%. Siphoning strikes, lucky hit chance increase from 75% to 85%. Nice. Ooh. Legendaries, aspect of elusive menace no longer requires hits to be from close enemies. Awesome. Aspect of Quickening Fog, you automatically drop a smoke grenade at the end of dash. Smoke grenades reduce dash's cooldown by 0.4-0.6 seconds per target hit, up to 2 to 3 seconds. Uniques, Wind Force, all stats affix replace with vulnerable damage. Amazing, vulnerable damage is god tier. And Word of Hakan, ultimate damage affix replaced with cooldown reduction. Again, cooldown reduction, amazing. So there you go, folks. That is the rogue patch notes for you. Now we are going to be moving on to the Druid. So here are the Druid patch notes for you, top to bottom. So skills, Earth Spike, Spirit Gain increased from 11 to 13. Claw, Spirit Gained increased from 11 to 12. Storm Strike, Spirit Gain increased from 14 to 15. Wind Shear, Spirit Gain increased from 13 to 14. Maul, Spirit Gain increased from 15 to 17. Wolves, passive damage increased from 0.78. I think it's supposed to be, 7.8 to 11%. Active damage increased from 110% to 135%. Enhanced Wolfpack damage bonus increased from 20 to 25. Brutal Wolfpack attack speed bonus increased from 20 to 25. Ferocious Wolfpack fortified mount is increased from 5% to 8%. Ravens passive damage increased from 13 to 20%. Brutal Ravens additional functionality increased the passive damage of Ravens by 40%. Rabies damage over time increased from 76 to 110%. Looking alright still for Druid. Again, I think some of the numbers could be tweaked a little bit higher, but yeah, man, sounds cool. Paragon, Lightning Resilience, Rare Node, maximum life bonus increase from 4 to 6%. Again, a little bit of increase, so that's pretty cool. Legendaries, Aspect of Metamorphic Stone, Spirit cost reduced from 60 to 50. Damage dealt increased from 80 to 100% to 100 to 120%. And that is for the Aspect of Metamorphic Stone. Aspect of the Alpha, damage increase from 75 to 100% to 90 to 115%. Mando Aspect, resource gain increase from 1 to 3. Class Mechanic Overload, lucky hit chance increase from 20 to 40%. Awesome. So that's a Druid done for you. Now we will move on to the Sorcerer. Then we'll have the Necromancer last, and that will cover all the patch notes for you separately in one patch notes video. Or you can just watch them, you can watch them all in one of my videos, or you can watch them all separately, it's up to you. Just thought I'd make it easy for you folks to go to whichever you want it. So, Sorcerer, without further ado, skills, Flickering Firebolt. Firebolt generates 2 mana when hitting an enemy. Enhanced Fireball, casting Fireball increases its radius by 50%. Destructive Fireball, Fireball's critical strike damage increased by 20%. This bonus is increased to 30% if Fireball hits at least 3 enemies. Greater Chain Lightning, each time Chain Lightning bounces, it deals 5% increased damage for its duration. Destructive Chain Lightning, chance to form crackling energy increased from 25 to 30%. It should have been at least 35. Come on, Sorcerer, had it tough, man. Even I know that, I haven't even played Sorcerer. So yeah, it is increased from 25 to 30%, folks. Keep pressing them like the Barbarian and get some more buffs. Make the Sorcerer top tier, god tier, let's go. Passives, Vire's Mastery, damage bonus increase from 10 to 15%. Isu's Ferocity, I'm just calling it Isu, but yeah, Esu or Isu's I'd say. Isu's Ferocity, additional functionality, both bonuses are also granted for 3 seconds when hitting a boss with a critical strike. Combustion, your burning effects deal times 20% increased damage plus an additional times 2% increased damage per unique source of burning you have applied to the enemy. It doesn't say enemy, it says the enemy. So I'm assuming that's a lot better for boss fighting solo, I believe. Paragon, Searing the Heat, Legendary Node, casting Fireball or Meteor increases your critical strike chance by 5% for 5 seconds up to 15%. Ceaseless Conduit, Legendary Node, increases crackling energy damage from 2% to 3% per 20 intelligence. The player has Reinforce Rare Glyph. Territorial Rare Glyph, damage reduction increase from 10 to 15%, great, should have been 20. Warding the Rare Glyph, damage reduction increase from 13 to 25%, much better. Keeper of Flames, Rare Node, damage reduction increase from 4 to 5%, you already know my thoughts on that one. Bonus damage reduction increase from 4% to 5%. Smoldering Embers, Rare Node, damage reduction from burning enemies are increased to 4 to 5%. Bonus damage reduction from burning enemies increased from 4 to 5%. Guarded Rare Node, damage reduction from vulnerable enemies increased from 4 to 5%. Bonus damage reduction from vulnerable enemies increased from 4 to 5%. They love those numbers, right? Should have just done it 10 or something, man. Give them some fat buffs, man. And I'm just about to get this thing called Oppressive. I'm sure you've also been oppressed for so long. Sorcerer, stand up. Oppressive rare node. Damage reduction from vulnerable enemies increased from 4 to 5%. Lightning resilience rare node. Maximum life bonus increased from 4 to 6%. Legendaries. So Serpentine aspect. You may have one additional Hydra active. The Hydra's duration is increased by 14 to 24%. I heard that's a great thing and it looks cool. So I might have to try that one day. This also now affects Hydra's enchantment effect. Awesome. Aspect to conflagration. Bonus burning damage increases from 20 to 30 to 20 to 40. Aspect of engulfing flames. Burning damage increase from 30 to 40 to 60 to 80%. Aspect of the three curses. Increases the critical strike damage of meteor and fireball by 20 to 40%. Double this bonus against healthy enemies. Amazing. Flamewalker aspect. Bonus movement speed duration increase from 4 to 6 seconds. Gravitational aspect. Ball lightning orbits around you and deals 15 to 25% increased damage. Aspect of unbroken tether. Additional chain lightning bounces increase from 2 to 4. Recharging aspect. Each time chain lightning bounces, you gain 1.5 to 3 mana. Charged aspect. Bonus movement speed duration increase from 4 to 8 seconds. 4 to 8 seconds. Aspect of the bounding conduit. Bonus movement speed increases from 20 to 25 to 25 to 30. And new legendary Mage's Lord's aspect increases Via's mastery key passive damage reduction by 6 to 9% for each close enemy, up to 18 to 27%. Aspect of frozen orbit damage increase from 20 to 30% to 30 to 40%. Storm swirl aspect bonus damage increase from 11 to 20%. 11 to 20% to 21 to 30%. Snowfield aspect unstoppable duration increase from 2 to 3 seconds to 3 to 5 seconds. Additional functionality also grants 10% bonus armor for 3 to 5 seconds. Incendiary aspect lucky hit damage from your pyromancy skills has 12 to 17% chance to restore 10 mana. Snow god aspect while within your own blizzard and for 3 seconds after leaving it you take 20 to 25% less damage. Aspect of concentration, mana regeneration increase from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. Duration requirement to gain its benefit from reduced. Duration requirement to gain its benefit. Reduced from 3 to 2 seconds. Okay, makes sense now. Uniques, Gloves of the Illuminator. Damage penalty reduced from 65 to 55% to 45 to 35%. Damage to stunned affix replaced with lucky hit. Change to restores resource. Okay. Illuminator's first bounce occurs much closer to the player. I think that isn't that fireball bounce. That looks kind of cool. That move does. So there you go, folks. That's the Sorcerer patch notes for you. So yeah, that'll be covered directly in one video, or you can watch them all in one video that I'll cover as well. And last but not least, Necro stand up. I'm a Necro main, 100 on the first non-seasonal. I'm playing Rogue right now, but obviously Necro is God tier. So let's see what's happening with the Necromancer in patch 1.1.1. Which is going to be live on the 8th as well, folks. So like just under a week roughly. So Necromancer skills. Enhanced Bone Spirit. Cooldown reduction increased from 6 to 7. Okay, cool. Again, could have done like 9. I think again would have been more viable, more exciting. 1 second with some of these doesn't really give you that much excitement, man. Paragon with a legendary board. Willpower requirement for bonus is reduced from 50 to 40. Great. Bonus damage per 40. Willpower increase from 2.5 to 4. Great again. I like in some of these Paragon board. I think they should maybe tweak a few more. And again, just make it a bit more exciting. Legendaries, aspect of the Empowering Reaper. Damaging enemies with Sever has 10 to 20% chance to spawn a pool of blight under the target. That deals 20 to 60% bonus damage. This effect can only happen. See, I don't understand this because I was the one who said this in the video. This is the one that I said doesn't make any sense. Sever's such a dope ass skill and I love it, right? It's so weak. 10% to 20% chance to spawn a pool. But then not only that is it weak, it can happen only once every 3 seconds. That's so bad. That's whack. Like, that needs to be changed, man. It's so bad. It's so bad, man. Like, you want people to make builds of other stuff, but you don't make like the aspects of them that great. Like, that's so weak. So weak. With that one, for example, just say argument's sake, let's have it 100%. So damaging enemies with Sever, 100% right, they'll spawn a pool of Blight. 20 to 60% damage. Not only do you have to get the Sever to come out, it has to hit the enemy, it has to do the pool of proc anyway. If they move out the proc, you're not going to get that bonus damage, I get it. But if they're pool, then you should get that bonus damage. That can the 20 to 60% bonus damage, great, keep that, right? But the 10 to 20% and the every 3 seconds is terrible, man. It's absolutely terrible. I don't like it at all. I don't agree with that. So yeah, definitely change that to make it more viable, man. Again, more people will be using other builds if you make other abilities dope. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't agree with that at all. And I think that, me personally, I don't know how you all feel about that, but I think Sever definitely needs some better aspects, some change, make it a lot more cooler. It is a really cool looking move. It's super dope and super fun. But again, you could make that like legendary if you just added or changed a few things, man. But yeah, definitely needs to be changed. Aspect of exposed flesh. Lucky up to 10% chance to generate 30 to 50 essence when hitting a vulnerable enemy. Okay, so I think that's just been increased. I think it was what, 30 to 40, I think. So if anyone knows any different, let me know about that one. But yeah, I think it was 30 to 40. So I mean, a little bit of buff, great. Aspect of decay, damage increase from 20 to 40 to 25 to 45%. Again, damage great. Aspect of torment, essence regeneration increase from 20 to 30 to 90 to 170. Amazing. Hulking aspect, legendary category change from resource to utility. Okay. Chance for Golem to reduce its cooldown increase from 1 to 4%, 2 to 5%. I saw that legendary last time, but Golem definitely could add a few more things as well. Chance to Golem to spawn a corpse increase from 0.5 to 2% to 1.2.5%. It's very, very minimal numbers, not that great, nothing exciting about. Uniques, grieves the empty tomb, intelligence affix replace with bonus movement speed. Now we all had issues with the Necro and the movement speed, so that seems like it's cool, and you might think, oh yeah, it's great for Necro, but what if you don't have grieves the empty tomb? Or what if you don't want to farm it? What if that doesn't work with your build? Because again, you've been forced to make a certain build by not including that in the boots. So this should have been just added as a standard buff. Like it's nothing OP, just basic movement speed in the Necro, so it's fair. So you just feel like every other class, so you can move the dungeons. So yeah, I think we should push for that or say something about that, because again, Necro's walk speed is atrocious, and you shouldn't have to farm something to be rewarded at something that should be standard. That's not fun. Not fun at all. And again, it's a game, so it should be fun. Minions. The following attacks now deal reduced damage to Druid companions and Necromancer minions. So Balrog's Fire Breath, Elite Affixes, Fire Enchanted, Electrified Obelisk, Shock Lances. Again, the minions definitely need a lot of more saving, a lot more buffs and stuff added to them. They don't need to be OP or broken, but they need to be viable. When you have your minions, they should be like obviously around you as protectors. And then when they need to attack, they need to go ham. And then again, you can use obviously the skill boards to reduce even more damage so they don't get one-shotted. But again, you're forcing so much points in other things that don't really be needed to be added in the first place. So yeah, minions still need more buffs, I believe, man, to make them stronger. If it's more defense, it's more defense. Something, man. Maybe even the minions get their own, if you got a barrier, for example, you're using temerity, maybe your minions get a barrier. I don't know if that's a thing right now, but little things like that, you know what I mean? If you get temerity and you're safe, your minions should have temerity and be safe. And then obviously if they do die, if they've been penetrated through their shield damage as well as their own damage, you know, with the reduction, if they do die, then you obviously have to res one. That's fair enough. That's a balanced thing, you know what I mean? But not just one shot in the dead or they're constantly dead for no reason. So yeah, maybe that could be looked into as well. But there you go, folks. That's all the patch notes for you. So just to recap, I've gone through all the patch notes top to bottom. I've covered all the generic patch notes, all the patch notes that are available to our knowledge right now in writing. And I've obviously given you my 2 cents on each one as quick as I can. I've covered all the classes for you as well. If the video is a bit too long, you don't have time to watch just this one and you want to watch just the classes, break down the patch notes, I'll edit all the videos down, so I'll do those tomorrow. So whether it takes me how many hours, I'll just get all the videos done separately. I'll edit those down for you, and then you can just go to each class accordingly. Then you're up to date what's going on. You're going to know by next week with your patch updates how your class is going to work, how the game's going to be, the state it's going to be in. I'm also going to be discussing this on stream with the viewers. Links will be in the description below. I stream on Twitch every day with Diablo, but I do other content. I am a variety streamer, so I do workout streams, cooking streams, just always multiple content, going out, beaches, drives, road trips, whatever, and just have fun all the time. But yeah, if you want to support the channel further, on the Twitch channel, you can always sub or gift a sub. You could donate as well if you wish. You could tip as well if you wish as well. Obviously, you can follow the channel, be in the channel, rate the channel, part of the community. We've got a dope-ass community. We all Gucci, Felucci, Pedatucci over here. So it'll be nice for you to meet everyone and be part of something special and amazing. If you need any help or any carries or you want any knowledge on the game that I can give you and I can learn off you, it'd be great to have a conversation about it and meet you all as well. And if you want to support the YouTube channel, you can like the video, comment on the video, you can give your 2 cents as well, and obviously we can communicate together and make sure we get like a dope-ass game in a good state and enjoy what we do and have fun from there. But yeah folks, that's the whole video for you, so I appreciate you guys, thanks for joining in and tuning in, and I'll be covering some more Diablo content. If you haven't seen my Rogue kind of unique drops and overview videos, you check those, they're interesting and fun, as well as all the stuff for the Rogue I'm covering as well. And if you like the Necro, I've covered all the uniques for that as well. And I'll be covering more Diablo content for you guys, so I'll cover everything for you daily as best as I can. And yeah man, we all bless out here. So thanks again for the time, I appreciate you guys, thank you again. Take it easy, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.